We have a special Torah reading today. Our tradition makes some Shabbatot special when it's a holiday or even the intermediate days of some holidays. So we have a special reading. We're leaving Leviticus, which is on our cycle of reading, and we're going back to part of the Torah portion called Bo in the book of Exodus, and we're reading in part of the Torah portion called Kitisa in the book of Exodus. We're reading in Exodus 34. This is the aftermath of the sin of the golden calf. This is after Moses smashed down the two tablets of the covenant that had the 10 commandments, the 10 statements of Adonai on them. We're not supposed to read that part on this Shabbat. This is only when we're on the cycle. We're jumping to the commandment of Adonai to Moses to create a new set of two tablets of covenant, a different set. So if you remember, the first set is made by Adonai and only Adonai. Adonai preps it. Adonai writes in Adonai's own hand on it. This is a little bit different, so as I'm reading the Hebrew and the English, follow the differences. Always when there is a similar story in the Torah, but with little differences, the differences are actually the important thing. The similarities are there only for us to focus on the differences. So watch out for the differences, but first we'll ask Jennifer to lead us in the blessing for the Torah on page 250 in our prayer books before we go to Exodus 34 verse 1 if you have a Bible and you want to follow.
Baruch et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
ויאמר אדוני אל משה, פסול לך 2 לוחות אבנים כראשונים, וכתבתי על הלוחות את הדברים אשר היו על הלוחות הראשונים, אשר שברת, ואהיה נכון לבוקר, ועלית בבוקר אל הר סיני, וניצבת לי שם על ראש ההר, ואיש לא יעלה עמך, וגם איש אל יראה בכל ההר, גם הצאן והבקר אל יראו אל מול ההר ההוא. ויפסול 2 לוחות אבנים כראשונים, וישכם משה בבוקר, ויעל אל הר סיני כאשר ציווה אדוני אותו, ויקח בידו 2 לוחות אבנים. וירד אדוני בענן, ויתייצב עמו שם, ויקרא בשם אדוני. ויעבור אדוני על פניו, ויקרא, אדוני, אדוני, אל רחום וחנון, ערך אפיים ורב חסד ואמת, נוצר חסד לאלפים, נושא עוון ופשע וחטאה, ונקה לא ינקה, פוקד עוון אבות על בנים ועל בני בנים, על שלישים ועל רבעים. And the translation goes like that. I'm reading from verse 1 in chapter 34 in Exodus. Adonai said to Moses, carve 2 tablets of stones like the first, and I will inscribe upon the tablets the words that were on the first tablets, which you shattered. Be ready by morning, and in the morning come up to Mount Sinai, and present yourself there to me on the top of the mountain. Now, no one else shall come up with you, and no one else shall be seen anywhere on the mountain, neither shall the flocks and the herds gaze at the foot of this mountain. So Moses carved 2 tablets of stone like the first, and early in the morning he went up on Mount Sinai as Adonai had commanded him, taking the 2 stone tablets with him. Adonai came down in a cloud. God stood with Moses there and proclaimed the name of Adonai. Adonai passed before Moses and proclaimed, Adonai, Adonai, a God compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in kindness and faithfulness, extending kindness to the 1000th generation, forgiven iniquity, transgression, and sin. Yet God does not remit all punishment, but visits the iniquity of fathers upon children and children's children upon the 3rd and 4th generation. So we can spend an entire year on that. It probably sounds familiar because it's part of the melodies of Yom Kippur, and Jennifer and the choir sing so beautifully this into melody, and we do it actually a few times during the high holidays. But there's one thing here that is astonishing, that the rabbis are focusing on in the Midrash and in the Talmud, and that is so. In the first set of tablets, Adonai curved the tablets, Adonai wrote on the tablets, Moses had nothing to do with them, and God gave Moses the tablets on top of Mount Sinai. Here, this is a totally different thing. Moses has to curve the stones. Moses takes them up and schleps them all the way up to the top of Mount Sinai. There, God curves on them, not curves, engraves on them the 10 Commandments. So there's a huge difference, and the rabbis are saying the following. Moses felt horrible for breaking or shattering or smashing the 2 tablets of covenant, because they were made by God and given to him by God, such a great gift, and he simply broke it into pieces. And Adonai, according to the Midrash, comforted Moses and says to him, Yishar koach, well done that you broke them, because now we're going to do a much better set of tablets, something that would be much better for people in the world, for people in every community. The first set was too much to handle. It was too divine, and people could not rise up to be so divine. We're going to do something in partnership, and when we work as together, when we work in partnership, this is something that can actually be useful to the community. This is something that can be handled by the people. So you're going to prep them, and I'm going to write on them. But the rabbis are adding to that. The fact that we are partners in creating the 10 Commandments, that means that the partnership continues till today. And that means that everything that we add to the Torah and to those 2 tablets, everything that we add to the covenant is still part of them. So the Midrash and the Mishnah and the commentary and things that we add today to those tablets, to this Torah, are still part of what God gave us there in Sinai, are still part of the partnership between the divine and the human. Even things that we write right now as we're facing this pandemic, even things that we're adding right now via Zoom and streaming, are part of the covenant that God has made with our people in Sinai. As if we were all there in Sinai, we all witness God, and we are all partners in the covenant between God and us. Let's say the blessing.